ready to begin? All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ponyverse Building a Supercommunity panel. My name is Feldo, and I'm the founder and lead developer of Ponyverse Networks. And up on the panel today with me are Ice Storm over there, who is our leader of all things Roleplay. Yeah, we've got Elvis, also known as Apple Bloom Online, who is an administrator on MLP forums and Equestria TV. And over to my right, we have Lord Bababa, who is an animator who's working with us. All right. Thank you all for joining us here today, and we can't wait to tell you all about our exciting projects. So, we're going to kick off here with the inevitable question. What is a Ponyverse? Well, we call it the Brony Supercommunity for a reason. It is a network of projects and websites, each built to serve a specific interest in the Brony community. They could each exist as their own little island community in its own right, but together they are part of something much bigger. Our projects include MLP forums, the world's largest Brony forum, and the host of Roleplay World, Pony FM, music hosting site that is all about pony fan music and nothing else, Equestria TV, our real-time video sharing site, and Ponyverse.net, which is going to be your global pony dashboard. And it's the center of it all. Thanks to our scale, we have a very good infrastructure that allows all these projects to come together as part of a giant network. One account gets you into all of our sites that currently exist and will also be getting you into all of our future projects. Ponyverse.net, when complete, is going to act as a global dashboard that will let you see all your notifications and followed content from every single one of our websites, all in one place. It's also going to have a toolbar that is available on every site that lets you keep up with your private messages, status updates, things like that, no matter where you are in the network. We have really great dedicated hardware that will stay online through really big traffic spikes, and we use a variety of professional services to make sure that the IT end of things is always there for you. With all that said and done, who are we really? Maybe we're sounding like some kind of deities here, doing all this awesome ponies website building stuff. But in reality, we are simply a bunch of passionate fans with all kinds of different talents who just love what we do. Everyone brings their own unique talents to the table, and the community becomes a melting pot of skills and interests. It is in these conditions that some really great things can happen. We're going to kick off now with talking about our flagship website, MLP Forums, which is where it all began. And I'll hand it over now to Elvis, one of our administrators there.
All right, at MLP Forums, our mission is to provide the richest community experience possible. The idea for the forums was actually born in the My Little Pony thread on the Nintendo 3DS forums. Okay. So Curtis, one of the administrators on the forums, contacted Feldo here to build the site and make it happen.
Yeah. The site has gone through a lot of changes, updates, events, drama. Come on, you all know bronies love drama, right? And all kinds of things, as it has gone from being this little forum that just started out of a pony thread on a gaming site to now the world's single largest and most active brony forum community. At current count, we have about 15,000 members and will soon be hitting 1.7 million posts. Mind you, we founded the site in October 2011 and aren't even 2 years old yet. By all possible metrics, we're a pretty big board. But one of the really special things we have done with MLP forums with all this growth was some charity work. Every year, we run a fundraiser called Making Christmas Merrier. It is a charity fundraiser for the BC Children's Hospital. And we chose that hospital because since I owned a site and the BC Children's Hospital is in the same city, figured it would give us the opportunity to head over there in person to deliver the donations from every year. The funds we raise through the Making Christmas Merrier fundraisers are allocated toward buying presents for children who have to spend their Christmas at the hospital, away from home. The thing is, the reason we chose to allocate our money that way is because not a lot of money is really needed to make a real impact there. Although $1,800, which is what we raised the last time we ran this, is a fair bit of money, it doesn't compare at all to the millions of dollars that large corporate sponsors throw at these things. But these large corporate sponsors almost never think to throw money at something as simple, a little thing, like buying Christmas presents for your kids. And so that is where we chose to really make a difference. And here on the next slide, you can see a picture of me delivering the proceeds from one of our fundraisers to the hospital in person. Next up, gonna give an affiliate spotlight here, to our friends at BronyCon. We've partnered up with them to host their official forums on MLP forums because we've already solved most of the forum problem. Obviously, we're doing something right if we built the world's biggest pony forum, right? Thing is, it's much easier for us to add a BronyCon area to our existing site than for BronyCon to worry about all the technicalities involved with setting up, managing, running, moderating a forum of their own. Well, for us, it's just a few clicks and we've got something ready to go for them. When the people who want to talk about BronyCon are done talking about the convention for today, we already have a massive existing community that they can come back to and enjoy when they're not talking about the con. All they have to do is station a few con staffers on MLP forums to answer questions specific to BronyCon, and they're good to go. Moving on, we're going to talk about Roleplay World. Ice Storm here, leader of all things Roleplay. Take it away.
All right. First off, I want to start off by asking you guys a few questions. How many people out here in the audience today have their own original characters? Awesome. How many people out here in the audience today are looking for a place to be able to play those characters free from any type of restrictions? How many of those people out there today are looking for a strict canon environment to be able to actually feel as if you're part of the show? Okay, well, my name is Ice Storm. I'm the lead roleplay manager of Ponyverse, and I welcome you to Ponyverse Roleplay. We're going to start off by talking about our roleplay world, which is our free-for-all section. In this section, the name pretty much says it all. Anything that you can possibly think of or imagine is allowed here within, the general common sense rules of what normally applies to websites. I've seen, it range from adventure threads to just simple slice of life threads to out there crazy, chaotic, do whatever you want to do threads. It's really something that is awesome and lets everybody try their hand at what they want to do. Our system that we have in place for that allows DMs to set up their own rules for their each individual role play to guide it through and make sure that it functions the way that they want it to function. And all characters there, regardless of make, gender, race, you name it, I've seen it there. It's really something special. Now, I'll lead over into our second roleplay area. This is our Equestrian Empire. This is a brand new section that we just added to our forums not even a week ago. This is our strictly canon roleplay world. I have myself and the 4 other staff members that I have hired directly for this project have put hours upon hours of work into researching to make sure that what we are putting as canon, that's listed as canon in our lore documents, are the legitimate lore documents for the entire continent of Equestria. We want to make sure that the fandom who wants to participate in this area can feel the most authentic canon representation as possible. All of our characters that are applied for the Equestrian Empire roleplay world go through about 3 different screening processes to make sure that everything that is being submitted is actually something that would realistically be seen in the Pony universe. That being said, our users are also going to be allowed to apply for cast members. It's going to be done through an audition process. All 5 of us staff members that are handling the roleplay world will be monitoring and reading over every single application that's applied to us to make sure that we pick the correct person for the job. Our ultimate goal, if we do our jobs right, is to make sure that if somebody is playing Rainbow Dash and Rainbow Dash joins a roleplay, that it is Rainbow Dash joining that roleplay, not a random player that just so happens to be playing Rainbow Dash joining that roleplay. We want to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible and that, we want to offer the best experience out there to make it to where nobody has to go anywhere else for anything pony related.
Thank you very much, Storm.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back off to Elvis, who will talk to you about Equestria TV.
Okay, so Equestria TV. Has anyone ever heard of SyncTube? Okay, well, for those of you who haven't, it's like users can watch videos together and chat with each other. Well, Equestria TV is going to be like that. It's going to be like a version of SyncTube for bronies. They will be able to create their own rooms and play videos and control the room creator. The people who create the rooms will be able to control what videos are played. And they'll be synced up so that everyone in the room sees the same thing at the same time. And they can chat in real time while enjoying content together. So a little history about Equestria.tv. It's actually older than MLP forums. It began as a SyncTube channel for watching pony videos. And early on, we began the tradition of SyncTube Fridays. It became quite popular. In fact, so popular that at one point we had to create more than one SyncTube room to accommodate everyone. So we decided to create our own site, Equestria.tv, so that we could have more control over the experience. Some examples of content that you'll find on Equestria TV are fanimations, pony music videos, PMVs, parodies, and live content like live streams, like art tutorials, DJing sessions, and some of the features of the site. The site is currently under development, and the goal is to turn it from a community event into a community itself. Users will be able to sign in with their Ponyverse accounts, so you won't have to create an account just for Equestria TV. Users can create, manage, and moderate their own rooms. They can create polls, and so that users can vote on which videos they want to see next. There will be various content sources such as YouTube, Dailymotion, and Livestream and Justin.tv. And like I said, it's currently in development, but we're hoping to be able to release it soon. So I'll pass it back off to Feldo.
All right. Next up, we are going to talk about Pony FM. Pony FM is, as I said, when I first introduced it, the music hosting site that is built specifically with Pony fan music in mind. It's inspired by a lot of existing sites that cater to the creative interests, like DeviantArt, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube, many others, with a dash of Pony on top. And one of the things I'd like to note about it is that we really respect artists' rights. They retain complete control over their music on Pony FM, and are free to take their music down, change it, all that at any time. The site is currently in public beta, and some of the artists we have right now on it, and if you're here in the audience, feel free to stand up, are Phony Brony, Cyril the Wolf, Coco Nero, Delta Brony, Carbon Maestro, and One Trick Pony. If you have any other Pony FM artists here in the audience, feel free to stand up. I'm going to kick off here with a brief history of what the site has gone through to get it to where it is today. The initial closed alpha was largely actually based on Bandcamp, but with some additional social features to make it feel more like a community, as well as track discovery mechanics that were all about pony music. But as the testing went on and it moved from closed alpha into a public beta, the users showed a great demand for a much more app-like experience, something like iTunes or Spotify. And one of the single most requested features was uninterrupted track playback, so you could keep listening to music as you browse the site. I am happy to announce that Pony FM Beta 2 delivers on all that user feedback and more. And you'll be able to try tomorrow at our booth 214 in the Vendors Hall. Some of Pony FM's key features that really set it apart include unlimited uploads for artists, uncapped downloads for listeners. These two things alone make it a perfect place for artists troubled by limited download allowances on Bandcamp and SoundCloud to go and let us handle the hosting of their music, all totally free. How many of you here have gone to try and download some song and seen that the download cap on it has been exhausted? Well then, even if you're not an artist, just a listener, you're going to love Pony FM. Tell all the artists you follow to start using it. A single upload by the artist is also going to make it available in 5 download formats, something that Bandcamp popularized, but we do it too, including lossless. The site features advanced searching, filtering, and discovery mechanics that are specifically designed for My Little Pony fan music, as well as a bunch of social features like being able to follow artists, being able to comment on tracks and albums, playlists, and being able to create and share your own playlists with other users. So even if you are not a musician, you can create content there, curate your own lists of music, and then share it with other people. You can even download a playlist with all the tracks in it ready to go and just sync that onto your iPod. You'll also be able to follow a playlist so that you are notified when new tracks are added, which effectively is going to give playlists the ability to be something like a little mini community of their own. Another feature that quite a few artists have gotten behind is a music review system. It's somewhat inspired by Overclocked Remix. And the idea there is to bring human-powered reviews and spotlighting to the Brony community, with the key difference that artists will always know why their track was or was not featured. The critiques that judges post will be published on the tracks themselves, whether the track makes it into the Hall of Fame or not. This feature is not going to make it into Pony FM Beta 2, unfortunately, but it is on its way shortly after. Next up, we're going to move on to showing you a few screenshots of the new version of Pony FM. The first one here is a screenshot of the filtering interface. The concept is that you have a list of all the tracks on Pony FM, and you can add filters to adjust what's shown. Available filters include things like the type of song you want, like a remix of a show song or a fan song, if it's an original song, a ponified song, things like that. You'll be able to choose which specific songs you want to see remixes of from the show, and you can choose the genre and whether it contains vocals. So for example, say that you dream of listening to a metal remix of Babseed. Ask Pony FM, you'll get it. You'll be able to save your filter selections and create a self-updating custom search that you can always come back to when, say, more tracks are added to that. So that way you'll always be able to know when more metal remixes of Babseed appear. Just hop to Pony FM, load up your saved search, and you'll see. Next up, we've got a screenshot of what a track page looks like on the site. We went for a really clean layout that maximized the use of screen space and includes all the vitals like track description, lyrics if they exist, some stats, more will actually be added in the future, social links, comments, everything you'd expect, and a nice, beautiful, easy to digest layout. Finally, we've got the track uploader. Because Pony FM is sort of much newer than YouTube and stuff, a lot of artists may already be established on other sites. We wanted to make it as easy as possible for them to get their discographies onto Pony FM so they can start using the site. To that end, the uploader is available everywhere on the entire site. All you have to do to upload a song is drag and drop it into the page. You can queue up multiple files so you can just let the uploads run overnight. And the hope is that artists will just hop on there, throw their tracks onto Pony FM, and come back the next day, and they'll all be there and ready to go. Moving on, I'd like to give a little shout out here to our friends at Celestia Radio, who are in the audience right now. Why don't you get up, and we can give you a round of applause. We've partnered up with Celestia Radio to allow us to automatically bring music from Pony FM to their radio stream. Artists have the ability to sub-license anything they upload on Pony FM to us in Ponyverse so that we can redistribute the songs to our partners on their behalf. No additional work is required from the artist end to get it onto Celestia Radio or onto any future partners. This feature will be coming very soon. Next up, we're going to have a word here from Nelson, who is Pony FM's lead developer. Right. Is this on?
Hello.
All right. So, Nelson, why don't you tell us how you joined our dev team and how Ponyverse has helped you bring the ideas you had for a pony music hosting site to life?
Right. Well, I started. Is this on? Seriously?
It's on. Use mine.
Hello. Hey. Okay. So I started watching the show in about. We should probably move that. Sorry about that. Started watching the show in about late spring 2011. And it's a great show, but I wasn't really part of the community until much later. What brought me into the community was the music, particularly your beat Brony, by the way, he's awesome. And I started listening to his music, and I wanted to find more. And there wasn't really a dedicated website at all for bringing pony music to the community, allowing people to filter by what kind of music they want, because I particularly like vocal tracks myself, as well as some electronic that's very specific. And that's a software problem we can solve with software. I'm a programmer, so I figured I might as well build a music hosting website for bronies. Problem is, you really need an established community. You need established infrastructure. You need community management. You need system administration, things that I don't do and I couldn't do. So I kind of let that idea just sit for a year and a half almost until I eventually broke down and, well, looked for another team to make my idea come to life. And that team happened to be Ponyverse. When I felt and went to MLP forums, I saw an example of somebody who really knows how to bring a community together, community management, infrastructure, and an existing user base. Not only that, he also had basically the product I want to build already being built. So it was really awesome to be a part of that project and start bringing my ideas onto the table as a user of Pony Music. A user of Pony Music, really. Listener, that works too. So anyway, yeah, so I joined on the team and I started bringing my ideas of how I want to listen to music to his ideas of how, it was very artist-centric, you could say.
The original version of Pony FM was, as I said earlier, largely inspired by Bandcamp, which caters very much to the artist, much more so than the users who are often looking for more specific ways to filter music rather than easy ways to upload it.
Exactly, and I really, because of my original dream of creating something that was for the listeners to be able to filter out their content, follow content, listen to content, I brought those ideas together and we worked on the Beta 1 together, and we got that released. And then based off feedback, we've been working on Beta 2, which will be... It'll be launched on August
31st.
Yes.
Yeah. The Pony FM Beta 2 is launching on August 31st. But if you're still here at BronyCon tomorrow, you can drop by at our booth, number 214, to try a live guided demo this weekend, exclusive for BronyCon attendees. So I hope to see you there.
All right.
Thank you, Nelson. So, moving on, we have a special new project to reveal. I'm gonna just let that speak for itself, so sit back and enjoy the show. Do we have sound?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised you guys like that, actually. I mean, we wanted to have a lot better things in there. But anyway, so before I go on anymore, you just saw the first trailer for The Last Sin of Harmony. Before I say anything else, this is a 100% non-profit, completely fan-made film. We have no affiliation with Hasbro. We have no affiliation with My Little Pony. We do not wish to infringe on any copyright. We are pretty much here only to tell a story and to essentially give back to the community. Now, my second thing I wanted to say is, like, once again, that was supposed to be a lot better. Like, I'm glad you guys liked it, but this thing had some big issues. Like, I actually drank like 50 Red Bulls, like, right before this. Thank you. I haven't slept in like the past like week, literally, because I've been like animating this. There's this one part where it's like Twilight was supposed to be running up the stairs. It's gonna look really cool, except every time I did it, like she always looked like a dinosaur. And it took me like 3 days to fix it, and I was really happy to fix it. And then because, you know, there's a whole bunch of crazy issues going on, the scene wasn't in there anyway, and I cried on the inside. Yeah. I need a hug. Can you give me a hug?
But he did well. we made a trailer, we made it to
Yeah,
BronyCon
okay.
with it, and we're really happy to have this opportunity to present it to you. 'Cause
Yes.
This project is awesome.
So anyway, yeah, just to reiterate, that was the trailer for The Last of Harmony, which is the fandom's actually first fan film. This has been technically in development since like middle of season 1, which is, I'm so tired, it's hard to think here. Which is I think like 2 or 3 years ago when this came out. Ugh. I need some sleep after this. I really need some sleep. I'm wearing that so I can like pretend that like I'm not just, but in reality I am.
You're doing well.
But anyway, this is presented by Writers in Harmony, which is the team of people that's making this. They're a really cool group. I'll get more to that in a second. Can we roll to the next slide?
Yes, we can.
So basically, for a general story information, the elements of Harmony are destroyed. You know, Twilight, her friends, which is essentially like the main 6, which, you know, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, blah, blah, blah. They have to bring them back. Along the way, they come across a magical book that, you know, has the essential chronicles and history of just a long-forgotten Equestria from before Celestia's time. And there's also a mystery of a lost princess involved. They went really heavy into backstory, the team on this. In fact, I'm surprised about how heavy like a backstory they made of Equestria. I'll touch base on that later. Can we go to the next slide as well? Is the next slide right now? It's hard to say. Okay. Okay. So, the film has a projected runtime of about 2 hours, which is pretty long. I mean, most like Pony thinks about on YouTube only like 30 seconds. Right. It has an original soundtrack, which, by the way, you guys heard some of the music coming from there. That sounded awesome. I can tell you right now that music is probably one of my favorite things about this project. It sounds absolutely incredible. There's 5 vocal numbers planned, which is where they're going to be singing. You know, once again, I can confirm it's going to be great. I'm actually really excited about it. Unfortunately, I don't get to talk about that just yet, which kind of makes me sad, but yeah. Anyway, also, we have over 70 members, which is a lot. I'm not exactly sure what exactly is the biggest Brony project. Like, does anyone know what the number is?
I would say double rainbow. I heard there was maybe about 110 people working on the project.
110 people working on Double Rainbow.
I think it was that.
That's a lot of people.
But we are still recruiting. for
Yeah,
this
I was
project.
gonna say, like, we are still recruiting. You know what?
But we will get to the recruiting.
I'll
in a
get to that.
moment.
I'll get to that. Mr. Feldo, I will get to that. Anyway, I think that's the slide. Is it the next one?
We're on the next
I guess
one.
it's the next one. Anyway, so what makes this thing extremely different for all of them is that, first off, I already told you, in this thing, we're out to tell a story. There's gonna be some crazy animation thing that's really awesome. Like, we're doing some crazy animation effects, but they're only there really to just enhance the story. They're not there just to be kind of like out there. We are there to tell a story. Story-wise, like I said, it's technically been in development since around like a year and a half ago. I've seen some of the script. I can't tell you too much, but I like it a lot. It's very good. It's not, one of the more unique things about this is the fact that it doesn't relate, it doesn't relate. It's not exactly directed towards bronies exclusively. It's really directed towards just people in general. You know, if there's a kid who wants to watch it, they can watch it. If there's an adult who wants to watch it, like kind of all ages, all groups kind of thing. Yeah. So, also, I already touched base on the fact that this explores the parts about Equestria's like backstory. The team in charge of writing it did a really good job on it. Like, I don't understand how they managed to get like such a really good backstory with, honestly, with the source material, because like it's just crazy. And this is coming from someone who wrote like a 16-page psychological analysis of Pinkie Pie and thought that was acceptable. And then come out with this, just all this crazy information. It's really cool. Unfortunately, I can't say too much about it tonight. What time is it, like 4:45?
523.
5:20. Okay, I can't say too much about it today, but yeah. Also, it's gonna have a villain, a brand new OC villain. I can't say much about him. I will say that you guys will love him. I think it's hilarious. This is something that I would love to show you, but it's just not the right time just yet. That will come probably later up. Also, we're gonna have a full voice cast for the main 6 and all original characters. I don't believe any background characters gonna have the same voice. That might change, as production goes on, because that's kind of hard to do, but I really doubt it. Also, we have original animation rigs created specifically for this project, and that's actually probably the coolest thing about this, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna show off a puppet rig here in a bit. There have been pony puppet rigs in the past that have been put online. Those are cool, but honestly, you just haven't seen these yet. These are unique. Also, there's going to be a diverse soundtrack. I already touched base on the soundtrack. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I am I can barely keep my eyes open. This guy has Mountain Dew. I would get myself Mountain Dew, but I gave my money to someone in the audience who I owed, right before this. Share?
My Mountain Dew.
All right, you know what? Whatever. Come on. Anyway, I should get going because we have.
Want some Mountain Dew?
No, I don't want your germs. You kidding me? Anyway, so.
Waterfall, some if you want it. I'm serious.
All right, nah. I'm fine. Did we go to the next slide yet, or is it still the?
We're moving on to the next one.
Thank you. I owe you something.
I was serious that you could have my Mountain Dew.
This is the first panel I've ever been on, and I'm liking it so far. This is very neat. Anyway, so basically, I believe this slide is basically telling hey, what's Writers in Harmony, the people doing less Stand of Harmony, are going to do for teaming up with Ponyverse. I'm going to let Feldo say this much because essentially this is pretty much a sales pitch for other projects to essentially work with Ponyverse here.
All right then. Like the partnership that I spoke about with BronyCon, Ponyverse provides a staff forum for the Writers in Harmony team to communicate and collaborate. These folks have team members in just about every time zone on the planet. Like most online projects, it's probably no surprise, but the thing is, forums make for a fantastic way for such teams to communicate. We also provide a variety of IT services to Writers in Harmony, like a Dropbox replacement that lets them sync, manage, and share many gigabytes of source files. We can construct, host, and maintain their project websites, and all of this is integrated with our existing Ponyverse ecosystem that I spoke about earlier in the presentation. The soundtrack for The Last Stand of Harmony will eventually be released and promoted on Pony FM, and the film itself will be premiered on Equestria TV. With its scale, Ponyverse is able to provide a lot of community outreach and support for the film as well. These Last Stand of Harmony folks, I've been following them for a long time, and...
That's kind of creepy.
I didn't mean that kind of following. I've seen the rigs come together. I've seen this get animated. Even though I am just a publisher and distributor here, I have watched this team work on this film, and it is my pleasure to bring them here to BronyCon today. You wouldn't be seeing this trailer here at BronyCon if it wasn't for us.
You wouldn't see me say that he has germs either, so. Anyway, so what's the next slide?
Moving on.
This is kind of what Ponyverse gets for doing this. This is kind of like our side of the deal. I mean, unfortunately, this isn't a thing where it's like, hey, Ponyverse gives us all these cool things, and then it's like, we don't give them anything back, which
Every
would
good
be really
partnership
fun.
is a win-win thing.
I mean, it'd be really fun if he just gave us all these cool things that we didn't have to give anything back, but that's not the case, unfortunately. We have to work with a partnership. So, Writers in Harmony gives Ponyverse exclusive content to release and distribute. Case in point, the trailer you just saw. Also, some of the puppets that I talked about earlier. Which, yeah, by the way, we will be releasing a base puppet rig that is owned by Writers in Harmony, which I would love to see you guys mess around with. After this, I'll probably wait for you guys to download afterwards. Ponyverse has all access to production stuff and assets, which is pretty much, in other words, if they have like another project that needs some help, if, this one project want to help out with the other project without kind of like going crazy with whatever insane non-disclosure agreements are there, we can do it. That's kind of how it works, right? I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
I need more of this.
we're in the
tea
same
that was
Skype groups,
donated to
we're on
me.
the same forums. We work really closely together, and we have access to all of each other's teams. Case in point, for example, the illustrations that you've seen in this PowerPoint so far, most of those were actually prepared by the Writers in Harmony team.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, while we're at it, the roleplay world over there, like I said, the nerds over here on our team, they did some pretty nerdy stuff, and they managed to provide this just really huge backstory for Equestria, which will be given over to the nerds over there, and they will then therefore do their nerdy thing, and we'll start role-playing.
It made my job a lot easier, I'll tell you that much.
And of course, nerdy people like me will then join and have fun. Anyway, also, Ponyverse goes wherever the film goes, and vice versa. Both projects share benefits. Case in point, I'm up here.
And we're
He's
up
there.
here.
Yeah, high five. All right, so what's the next one? Opportunity to give back? Well, one of the things that this film's being made for is kind of like an opportunity to give back, I already told you this film's not necessarily being but produced for bronies exclusively. It's being produced, for like a much more wide audience, which is something that typically isn't done too often with this fandom, which is kind of ironic considering that the show itself is made for children. And I don't know, I just think it's really neat, personally. I know that I can like barely keep my eyes awake. Thank you to whoever donated this tea. I'm going to just crash right after this panel, probably. I mean, so, yeah, kids are ponies intended audience. They will enjoy it. I'm also going to have an equal opportunity to give back to this sort of fandom that made this film possible, which, by the way, thank you, bronies, for coming up here to, like, see this panel. To be honest, when I first, like, heard about this, I was, like, not expecting much, which is why if you saw me in, like, the vendor's hall, I was, like, passing out, like, business cards like crazy, trying to go, hey, do this, this is like role play thing, this film thing going on. All right, what's the next slide? Next up, we have the
rig demo.
Oh, we have the puppet demo?
That's the puppet.
All right, well, so, I don't know, do we have like a portable microphone I can pick up for a second?
What? Pointer?
I'm gonna point on this. Can I get up there and just like, point exactly what it is? Or, you know what? I gotta say it. So basically, here's an example for puppets. Most puppets, pony puppets that you can find online, only have like 3 views that you can use. Ours have a nice like 180 turn to them that looks really nice. There's a walk cycle there, there's a trot cycle there, there's a run cycle there, all of which look cool. You can actually, and then, just to clarify, there's like the little wink, cutesy, blink animation thing that's hard to view from here. That wasn't funny at all. Oh, I know. That's not the same as laughing, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, jeez. I know. Anyway, so to be honest, I expected this slide to be at like the end of the PowerPoint. That's why I'm like, wait, what? Like, I mean, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go to the next slide, which is, what is this, like the recruiting page?
It's a recruiting page.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, before like I say anything, Writers in Harmony, I absolutely love working with them. They are great, like they're funny, they're awesome. They allowed me to like come up here and give this panel half asleep and absolutely no clue where I am on Earth right now. There's plenty of open positions, there's writers, there's artists, there's Flash animators like me, which if you join as a Flash animator, I will like totally love you because I love Flash animators. Basically, if there's a position you can think of it, you can join. Also, training will be available. For example, one of the cool things about it is that on Equestria TV, We haven't got to that yet, have we?
Already covered it.
We didn't? Wow, I must have fell asleep.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
You want Mountain Dew?
You know what? Let me just finish this. All right, let's do this.
But yeah, well,
All right. Okay. So anyway, I just got over my nice suit. My stepfather's gonna kill me. All right. Yeah, I know, right? That's why I was wearing this. That's one of the reasons I was wearing this. I don't know. I'm just gonna shut up now. Anyway, so one of the cool things about Equestria TV is that we're going to have tutorials, or we are planned to have tutorials and stuff for this project on Equestria TV once that's all set in stone. It's not set up just yet. Equestria TV is going to be awesome when it's finished, by the way. If you join, you will have your credit, given where the work's done. You can use the last bit of Harmony. It could be your portfolio piece, get a job, or you could just literally, go up to your friends and say, hey, look, I'm in the credits of this really cool movie that's on the internet, and kind of nerdy that I'm also participating in. You could also be part of something that many will enjoy, which is my personal favorite thing. I was honestly really happy that you guys liked the little trailer that we had. It almost made me cry. Yeah, it was. Needs another hug. I do need another hug.
Dude, you did well.
Okay.
This just kind of shows how tight-knit of a community we actually are.
I know.
We can share Mountain
This is
Dews,
also my
we can share
favorite.
hugs.
This is also my first BronyCon too, so it's well, this is just different. Anyway, if you're interested, you can apply today at writersinharmony.com, which I believe should be set up sooner or later.
It should already be set up.
Or should already be set up?
Our tech staff over in London should have set that up by now.
All right, there we go. Let's clap for this, because that's actually awesome.
Oh yeah, here's that round of applause for Adam from the UK, who is not here at the panel today, but he has been basically running our whole IT ship solo since almost every one of our other admins is here at BronyCon for the weekend.
Also, I already mentioned it, but the puppet that you saw there, you can download it, you can mess around with it. It's either going to be hosted on Ponyverse or it's going to be hosted on, Writers in Harmony website. I'm serious, a lot of this is just kind of rushed. I know that it's a terrible thing to admit, and I'm sure that, the team members are probably watching the stream and they're like, shut up. But yeah, no, a lot of this was pretty rushed. But I would actually love it for anyone in here, especially people streaming, to download the puppet, mess around with it. I'd love to see what you did. You should upload to YouTube and you should tweet it to the Ponyverse Twitter account. The Ponyverse would love to see the crazy things you did with it. The puppets are made be used with ease. They're really neat. So Writers in Harmony made them. They're not the double rainbow puppets. They're Writers in Harmony puppets. Oh my gosh. Why do I keep doing that? I need to just finish this. Oh wait.
Dude.
I know, it's funny, it's the last slide. It's the last slide too. I don't know why I'm so...
It's cool.
Yeah, it
But
is
you
the
don't
final
have to man
boss.
the table after this today.
Yeah, you're right, and there's only 10 minutes left, so maybe I should finish this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 10 minutes left. Okay, so once again, apply to writersonharmony.com. I love the team, I think they're great. Before I end, I would actually like to thank personally, I'd like to thank the team that made My Little Pony. I'd like to thank Lauren Faust. If it weren't for them, we crazy nerds up here would not be making a fan film dedicated to them. And that's pretty much it, honestly. Oof. Can I go to sleep now?
Dude, you gotta survive for 11 more minutes for the Q&A.
Oh, that's right, there's Q&A. Oh no!
And then
Okay,
we have the
but-
dinner after this.
Oh, that's right, we do have a dinner after this.
We'll get you a Mountain Dew.
Yes!
Or a Red Bull. How about a Red Bull?
How about 2 Red Bulls?
How about 5?
I support this. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any closing thoughts because it's like the last slide. I'm sure like I'm sure like the team members are probably like punching their computer screens. So I forgot to say something, but you know what?
We'll
end
be
it
at
right.
table 214 tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can talk to us then.
Please
there
do. Please do.
About
Talk
all
to them,
things this
not me.
project.
I'm gonna be like sleeping.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Lord Bababa. Even if I know you have been pulling all-nighters for the past week to work on this, but you made it. That's what matters.
Yeah.
We screened a trailer. People love it. All looks
Yeah.
bright from here on out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
One
Q&A
more
time?
thing for Q&A. And just before we get to the Q&A, I would like to take a moment here to give a few special thanks to a few very special people. First of all, I would like to give a huge round of applause here to Obsidian Winter from the and the entire BronyCon team for arranging for this panel, letting us come to Baltimore this weekend and show our stuff. We really appreciate it. Yeah. And as well, an extra special thanks for the writers and Harmony team for not only pulling this whole project together, but also having the time to create some illustrations for our slides here in our presentation. As well, we have a whole army of donors who contributed to our crowdfunding campaign to pay for a few plane tickets, expenses, and all kinds of other costs that let us come here, set up our fantastic booth, and pay for the Wi-Fi, power, trips, everything that we needed to make it here in the first place. And an extra special thanks to Detective Butler, who couldn't join us today, and Morager, who were part of an auction that raised more than a quarter of the funds we needed. Morager, why don't you stand up? And finally, I would like to give the most special thanks of all to the wonderful Ponyverse and MLP Forums community that has been so supportive of our existence, everything we want to do. All 15,000 of you who are registered with us, however many of you are watching and everyone here, if you're here and you're registered on one of our sites, I'd like to stand up and we can give you a round of applause as well for being part of this community. Thank you for coming out here to Baltimore to see us show our stuff, and see Feldo and Lord Baba have hugs here on stage.
And chug Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
That was probably the most memorable.
And nervously stare at a timer on the table.
How much time do we have left? Like 5
We got
minutes?
7 minutes.
Oh wow, so that's only gonna be like 3 questions.
So yeah.
If you guys have any questions for me, like person
Yeah.
that last in Harmony, you can like track me down and just join the convention. I'm probably gonna be staying even though I'm like tired because I want to stay for the gala and stuff, even though I can't even like think properly.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever time we have left is now Q&A time. Anyone got a question? Let's start with you, Black Cat. Come up to stage. Or are they gonna bring the mic to you?
This is a question for Ice Storm. I would have raised my hands for the last 2 questions you had if I had an OC. Is there any hope on the website raising OC?
We have several different guides and several different processes that you can go through. I mean, if you ever need any help or any assistance with anything, you can either go through our FAQ section and all of our guides are there, or you can contact me or any other Roleplay staff personally. We would be more than help you to come up with anything that would suit what you're looking for.
All right. Next up, someone in a Wonderbolt costume.
Is the pony.fm, is it going to be like iTunes and be in .exe form, or is it just going to be on a website?
It is a website. All of Pony FM is entirely web-based, and if you want, you can even hop on it on your phone. It does work on phones, and works everywhere you go. All you need is an internet connection and a web browser.
Over there.
Next up, over there, man with the beard.
Well, first off, I'd like to say that I can't wait for the movie to be done, and I can share it with all my friends at home in Kingston, Ontario. Okay, two different questions. One, are we able to see? I know you started during season 1. Are we going to able to see different characters like Discord or Deborah Hooves during the movie also, or?
There's definitely, I think for something like this, Derpy is a requirement. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Derpy's a requirement. I can't really say anything just yet about the others.
Okay.
I know that stinks, but sorry. Is there another question you had?
Yes, I do. For the FM radio, is it going to be on Android also? Or Android?
It is a website, so you can access it from any phone that has a relatively capable web browser. But with that said, we actually have an Android app for it that is currently in alpha testing. And if you head over to Pony FM or MLP forums, you will find more information on how to join the alpha testing team. Or you can just track us down at table 214 and sign up in person.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, next up, green hoodie, Applejack shirt.
I was just wondering, when you were talking about Android, I was wondering if there would be any plan to do an MLP Forums app for Android and iPhone users who are on the go a lot.
The iPhone development is slightly tricky. While we do have one developer who has the equipment necessary to do that, these things take a lot of time and a lot of collaboration, and frankly, we are largely a Windows and Linux shop. You kind of need a Mac computer to work with the tools to make an iPhone app, and we are not for profit, and we simply do not have the resources to buy enough MacBook Pros for everyone who would be otherwise working on an iPhone app to get one. With that said, if someone wants to financially sponsor the development of an iPhone app, we would be more than happy to talk to you, because yeah, it does take some pretty expensive equipment to actually make that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. With that said, the Pony FM website itself does work on every modern mobile device. You can use it on the go. It's not exactly an app, but it will do in the meantime. Right. And do you have any more questions?
Right over there, brown shirt.
Okay, I had to step out for a second, so I'm sorry if you said this, but for the movie, did you have an idea of when it would be out or ready? Like any possible idea?
We're working on that.
Okay.
We don't have anything to announce in terms of release dates
Okay.
or windows just yet.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
another question is, do you know about Journey of the Spark?
I do know about Journey of the Spark.
Okay.
Personally, I'm actually quite interested in it. Even though this is like a separate, kind of movie, it's like, I'm not gonna come out and just insult it. I'm actually quite interested in Journey of the Spark. I'm interested in what they're gonna do. In fact, I might go to the panel, or actually, you know what? This guy promised me Red Bull. I'm just gonna watch it on YouTube when it's finished. So.
Yeah. Did you have any specific questions about Journey of the Spark?
Oh, no, I was just wondering, because you guys said that was the first MLP movie.
Right,
Was
right.
it the first
Journey of the
introduction?
Spark. Personally, honestly, I don't really think it matters which one's first. They're both going to be separate films. In all honesty, I'm just saying exactly what I was told to say.
We do have documents dating back over 2 years, in fact, and
Yeah, we do
to
have
the development
documents.
of The Last
Okay,
Stand
I was
of
just
Harmony
wondering if it was
Can.
going to be the first to be released or the first.
It really depends. It really depends.
The first was meant to refer more to being the first to begin development, because it has been in the works for almost as long as this fandom's actually been around. But we are not aiming to compete for a release date. We are going to take our time to make sure that this movie is worth watching, worth releasing, and we're not going to hype up anything that we do not intend to absolutely deliver on.
Thank you, Writers in Harmony representative. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Hey, I am your publisher.
You are, but it's like I wanted to feel special. Okay.
All right.
Right up here in the glasses.
I know I'm 3 months late, but happy belated birthday, though.
Wait, sorry? Can you say that again with Mike?
I know I'm 3 months late, but happy belated birthday, photo.
Thank you, though. It's never too late. And in fact, I appreciate it that you actually wanted to say that to me in person, because not a lot of people do. You'd be surprised. Other than my awesome supportive family. And of course, I would like to also give a special thanks to them for allowing me to let all of Ponyverse exist. I could not do this without my family, because all those great notes and things. Mom, get up. You're not family. Well, you're all my family. My family of 15,000 brothers and sisters on Ponyverse. Cool. I think we had someone over there with a black shirt who had a hand up for a very long
I saw a
time.
few more questions over there as well.
Person waving a hand. You, waving to hand? Yes.
How close would your film be to something actually canon? You know, something actually, made by Hasbro?
This is, like I said at the beginning, this is a 100%, fan work. It's not canon. If what you're saying is like how close is it to being canon? I mean,
How close does it look?
oh, animation-wise? Oh, no, we I know that I just said that a whole bunch of dorks, did a whole bunch of, research on, the backstory of it. Dorks like me did a whole bunch of research on how the ponies and stuff, look like when they're animated and whatnot. And of course, we're also kind of doing our own, little style to it, as you saw. I'm trying to think of a way to answer this question. I think I thought of this one. I want to say maybe close to the show, but, different. Because, as you saw, we tried a whole bunch of, crazy 3D effects in there. So, does that answer your question at all? I did a bad job of that, I'm sorry. Do you want the rest of this iced tea? It's like a consolation prize.
All right. Rainbow Dash Wings.
Hello, Feldo.
Hello.
All right, so my question is concerning about the puppet animation that you recently showed us. You said that it's going to be when you apply with the Ponyverse.net account, you can be able to get access to it. What kind of system requirements do you actually need to be able to have it work?
I can answer that. Pretty much you just need a copy of Flash, and you need a computer that is capable of running Flash. So I'm guessing pretty much if you have a computer that was made in the 90s, you might have some problems. I mean,
Well, you won't have to worry about that.
it's really, basically, you just need a copy of Flash. These are Flash puppets. I should have made that clear. This is Flash animated, like every other pony project is in the world. I mean, yeah. So, to answer your question, you're gonna want a copy of Flash. If you guys don't have a copy of Flash, you can actually get the trial copy of Flash, and you can use it, and it'll allow you to mess around with these for about 30 days. Then you have to buy it or get it through whatever crazy illegal means that you might be stuck getting it. I don't support that, by the way.
What do you take me for, blah, blah, blah?
What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, really? I don't know what you just said.
That's all good. It's all good. Just a joke.
Okay, well, I give you a thumbs up, and I am, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, though.
Thank you very much for standing up awkwardly for like 5 minutes while I like sit here for 5 minutes wondering where I am.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question, and we'll have to wrap it off. Oh, great.
Wrap it up.
Black shirt, he's had his hand up for a while.
All right.
Are you interested yet in integrating into your network more Brony websites? And if so, which types? Social, email, what?
Ponyverse as an ecosystem is designed to really be more of a hub of anything pony than like anything else, and let each site sort of exist with its own structure hierarchy. If there are projects that want to partner up with us, that is something that we are always open to discussing. You can drop by, or like if you operate a project that you would like to see become part of Ponyverse, and you're here at BronyCon today, feel free to drop by at booth 214 and have a chat. And otherwise, if you're tuning in online, or you're watching a recording of this panel, or through some other means you're interested in like working with us, just send us an email to hello@ponyverse.net, and we will chat.
Okay.
We are interested in talking about anything. There are no restrictions really on what we're willing to discuss partnering up for.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to answer that question because like he answered my question. And it's like,
Well, example here, project that came to us and partnered up. They're first, and we are testing the waters with them, and so far it's been a fantastic relationship.
yeah. He promised to buy me Red Bulls. Therefore,
I will
as the
treat you to some Red
spokesperson right now, I love this guy.
Partnering up with Ponyverse may or may not include being treated to Red Bull by Feldo at a restaurant. And what was that?
I said now hug.
Hug? How about we have a group hug with all the panelists?
Group hug. Aww.
Group hug. Panelist group hug.
Group hug.
He has germs. I don't want to kiss him.
I think that is all the time we have today for this panel, but we will be in the Vendors Hall at booth 214 tomorrow. If you want to ask any more questions, have a long discussion with us, or talk about anything, or hell, just come and register an account. We'll be there. So we look forward to talking to you. And you can apply, if you are interested in Ponyverse and you don't have an account yet, just hop over to ponyverse.net and you can grab one right now. So, thanks very much everyone for coming to the panel. I'll see you around BronyCon.
And just to add, if anybody had any roleplay related questions or anything like that, you can just find me after the panel, or you stop by the booth tomorrow and I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. If I'm not at the booth, you'll more than likely be able to find me in the LARP room. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask at any time.